Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Let's get after it.
This is Roger Ebert, and you may not know him, but he's arguably the most famous film critic of all time. And even if you don't know him, you might be interested in his last words, where he seemed to have some sort of revelation about the nature of reality. Roger grew up Catholic, but abandoned those beliefs somewhere along the line. He famously said that no one should be able to be president that believes in either creationism or New Age beliefs. And he dismissed most supernatural things as silly. He wrote, "I'm not a believer, not an atheist, not an agnostic. I am still awake at night asking how. I'm more content with the question than I would be with the answer." But later in his life, Roger had a lot of health complications, and he had cancer in his jaws. You can see right here he had to get surgery to have part of it removed. He went through a couple periods of remission and re-diagnosis, and eventually he was just losing his battle to cancer. This is Roger and his wife, Chaz, and she did an interview with Esquire magazine in 2013 where she talked about the circumstances of his passing. She says that in the week before his passing, she would visit him, and Roger would talk about having visited a different place. She initially thought he was hallucinating or had been given too much medication, but the day before he passed away, he gave her a note. And the note read, "This is all an elaborate hoax." And she asked him, "What's the hoax?" And she says that he was talking about this world, that this world was the illusion. She says, "I thought he was just confused, but he was not confused. He wasn't visiting heaven, not the way that we think of heaven. He described it as a vastness that you can't even imagine. It was a place where the past, present, and future were happening all at once." One of the most interesting things to me is just how different people's experiences are with like NDEs, near-death experiences, and how sometimes it seems to correspond to the person's belief system while they were alive. For instance, some people that are Christian or Catholic might see this bright white light and their loved ones greeting them, but we've had so many stories on this podcast about people experiencing totally different things, and we have a really crazy one coming up, so stay tuned. But Roger, who had sort of had a hard time believing in God in the traditional sense, but was really interested in just sort of the questions of the universe. He had this experience where he felt like he was in a place where time didn't exist. And that just seems to correlate pretty well to his belief system. Do with that what you will, but maybe our brain is just answering the questions that we've been asking our whole lives in the way that we want them to be answered. And I don't know if that's comforting or really not comforting, because like, what if you don't believe in anything?
I've heard the scientific explanation that the white light we see whenever we're dying is just the synapses in our brain firing as our brain inevitably dies out. I don't really believe or buy that explanation. I think it's much more likely that it's a defense mechanism of the brain coupled with the transition phase that you're actually going into. But that's just my theory. Because I haven't died yet, I have no idea.
This video has 31 million views, and the top comment, "Something just doesn't feel right about this Apple Vision Pro." Why do so many people feel so off about this product? That feeling is called intuition, and we have intuition for a reason. Groundbreaking science is pointing to the idea that we are in a simulated reality. But this simulation isn't made by aliens or future humans. It's made by the God of the Bible. And the matrix currently being built by this technocracy is the artifice. It's a copy of the real simulation. Man is made in the image of God. And so if God created a simulated reality that we are all in, what do you think man is going to make? Our own simulation. Pong, Mario, Minecraft, Fortnite, the metaverse. We're going into the machine. What it means to be human is being redefined. At the same time, scientists are promising us that they're developing the technology where we can download our consciousness onto a hard drive and live forever.
When will uploading our brain become a reality?
Digital immortality is starting now.
So this is being godlike.
You think this is a new idea? Where does this desire for man to want to be God and live forever come from? The Garden of Eden. This was man's original temptation. When the serpent came to Eve, what did he say to her? "You will not certainly die. For God knows that when you eat from the tree, your eyes will be opened, and you will be like God."
This universe is mine.
I am God here.
Beguiled by the serpent, the woman took the fruit and ate. What is the Apple logo? This logo is the brand of original sin. The first Apple computer was sold for $666.66. Man has once again been deceived by the serpent.
You will not die, and you can be like God, the God of your own universe.
Those who don't know their true history are doomed to repeat it.
I think the one glaringly obvious highlight in all this that people are overlooking is the sheer magnitude of people who have zero interest whatsoever in all of this new technology. I don't think that they could add enough features to make it worth it to me, or most people, to spend $5,000 on a wearable device that's not feasible in most situations. And as far as the whole metaverse thing, I've got no interest in getting involved in all that stuff. So yeah, they're going to siphon people into it, but it's going to be the same people that get sucked into anything. They're not going to get everybody into it.
In the 12th century, two children with green skin appeared at the edge of a field in the Woolpit village in Suffolk, the UK, without their parents, seeming quite lost. The children, a brother and sister, were taken to a local nobleman's home. But the children refused to eat at first until they were given beans that came directly from the ground. They did not speak any language that anyone in the town knew. Eventually, they learned to eat other food and lost their green pallor. But the boy was sickly and died soon after he and his sister were baptized. The girl adjusted to her new life. After she learned to speak English, the girl explained that she and her brother had come from St. Martin's Land, an underground world inhabited by green people. She said, "We are ignorant of how we arrived here. We only remember this. When the bells were chiming, and whilst listening to the sound in admiration, we became on a sudden, as it were, entranced, and found ourselves among you in the fields where you were reaping."
This is actually something that was proposed to me by a viewer to look into. I had never heard of the Green Children of Woolpit. I'm planning on doing a little bit more digging into it because I found it absolutely to be interesting, and it seems like this was a legitimate case of two mysteriously appearing green children. If that doesn't pique your interest, then probably not much does. I do find it interesting, though, how in the depiction of their homeland that they talk about, they say that it was very dark there all the time, and it was almost like a twilight. And that makes me think of the smoky sun that's discussed in other depictions of the Hollow Earth theory. Hey, if you're enjoying this video, I make a new one just like it every single day. It'd be awesome if you'd hit that subscribe button and come back tomorrow to join me.
One of Zimbabwe's most celebrated technopreneurs, Maxwell Chikumbutso, has once again come up with a masterstroke innovation, and this time it is an embedded wireless power generator that uses radio frequency to power a television set. Chikumbutso demonstrated his latest innovation to a ZBC News crew at his base in Harare, whereby a TV does not need the electricity connection for it to function.
This is our self-powered TV that we have designed, the first in the world to have such kind of a technology where a television is powered with a radio frequency. So as you can see right now, I'm powering this television. So this is the first television in the world that uses self-power to say. It is all in one. You don't need to put it on electricity or on solar panel or anything. As it is a complete solution. Behind the television, you can see that there is a microsonic energy device, this box. This is the device that is converting radio frequencies into pure energy. As you can see, the power of the cable was supposed to be here. On all traditional televisions, power comes here, but there's no power, as you can see. The television is working as it is. So in layman, I think this television is we can call it a self-powered television.
It is indeed an exciting innovation that comes in handy for households without electricity, and even so, a relief to many in the event of power outages. Chikumbutso continues to fly the Zimbabwean flag high in the world of innovation, and this latest offering will put the country's map at the forefront of technological transformation. Owen Mundova, ZBC News, Harare.
I want to know, how compact can you make that powering device, and how much power can you extract from it? That's pretty fascinating. I love stuff like this, and to see that this stuff's actively being worked on gives me a lot of hope for the future in what our technology could become. We could regain some of the lost technologies of ancient civilizations if they keep digging into this type of stuff. So this is very fun and exciting to hear about.
Check this out. I saw this, I was like, that's fake as F, mate. Somebody sent me an email, I was like, nah, until I saw the video.
An unknown object seen in the skies over the airport, so according to our regulations, we had to close the airspace. Aircraft movements were suspended from 8:45 p.m. to 9:41 p.m.
Airport staff say the first reports of the UFO...
I just thought that maybe that's a reflection or something. This just doesn't seem right.
It came in just after 8 p.m. from both air traffic controllers and civilians.
And that, just to me, is like, that's a screenshot from a bloody movie or something.
I heard that some of the passengers whose flights just landed saw the object, which appeared as glowing lights. It was not a normal civil aviation flight. What it actually was, no one knows.
Look at it! Look at the state of this, mate. And I'm telling you, I know what you're thinking. Ben, move on. This is effing fake. Wait till you see the video. I know I've said that a couple of times, but just, right?
During the hour in which airspace was closed, 6 flights were grounded and 12 inbound flights had to be diverted to nearby airports at Ningbo, Wuxi and Shanghai. In total, almost 1,000 passengers were inconvenienced by the closure.
Hey, right, here we go. Have you ever seen anything like that in your life? Look at this thing as well floating about. Watch it, starts floating about. Look at it. Someone's been abducted right there.
A UFO in China's skies forced Zhoushan Airport to stop
This is a different angle.
operations on July 7th. Outbound flights were grounded after the unidentified flying object was detected by a flight crew. The incident has captured the attention of Chinese media. For now, the UFO continues to be a mystery. A spokesman from China's civil...
Look at the thing just fly off! What the hell, mate? Look at the thing! Watch!
For now, the UFO continues to be a mystery. A spokesman from China's Civil Aviation Administration confirmed to ABC News that the matter is under investigation.
It's under investigation. Yeah. You know, is what it is.
All right, that was some of the most compelling UFO footage that I've seen. Just with the multiple different camera angles and like the sheer length of the video, all the different maneuvers that it's making, and the fact that there are multiple crafts in the air. This one's emitting this strange light and then shoots off in the same way that you're told over and over and over in UFO sighting stories, how UFOs just suddenly shoot away. Very, very interesting, very fun to watch. Don't know if it's real, but I would say it's the most realistic looking footage that I've seen yet. I just hope they didn't trick me.
Something is going on with the ATT phone network as we speak. This is a heat map from downdetector.com that shows several major US cities without any AT&T cell service. That also includes myself. Now, this was updated just a couple minutes ago that already shows 8,000 plus people that have the ability to report the outage. And everyone also immediately taking to Twitter to say, what is going on? And the short answer is, we have no idea what's going on. I mean, it's currently 4 in the morning here Eastern time, and I'm on SOS as well. The only reason I'm able to upload this TikTok is because of a Wi-Fi connection. Now, some of the largest impacted cities include these up above, including Houston, Dallas, Seattle, Los Angeles, Chicago, San Antonio, San Francisco, Tulsa, and Atlanta. Now, 59% of people say their mobile phone isn't working. 25% say there's no signal. question is, are you getting service right now, and is this only on the AT&T network, or is it on other cellular brands too?
I believe it's AT&T, Verizon, and T-Mobile that are all having these issues, and it's a little scary with all the news reports coming out about how they're expecting China to hit us with these cyber attacks. I'm not convinced that's what's going on, but I don't know yet. There's not even been any proposed theories as to what's causing these outages, but we'll keep looking at it in case it turns into something nefarious.
2012 with a small native Indian village in British Columbia. We took our dust out to their ocean pasture. We sprinkled the dust over 10,000 square kilometers. The plankton grew into a 50,000 square kilometer bloom. All of ocean life came to the bloom and feasted. That project took probably 500 million tons of carbon dioxide out of the atmosphere and repurposed it into that ocean life. And the measure of success was intending to bring the fish back. Well, the very next year, the pink salmon that we targeted in Alaska, they were expecting to catch 50 million pink salmon, which was going to be a very healthy catch. But following our pasture restoration, the Alaskans had to stop fishing after catching 225 million salmon, which was the largest catch of salmon in all of history. It just works. Right? There's no question about it. It simply works.
So, if what you're saying is accurate, it doesn't cost trillions, it costs millions. Well, there's people out there with millions. There's people with millions to burn. Like, I've seen what Nick Cage spends his money on.
Well, they don't because of the attacks that have taken place on the people who have worked in this. So when John Martin in 1988 said he had the solution for climate change, he was declared a heretic because the solution was too good, too fast, too easy. So the people today who expect to be spending those trillions of dollars, this is the worst news ever. So when I did the work with my village of 800 native people in British Columbia, we thought nothing could be better. We dotted every I, crossed every T. And then the week before Easter in 2013, there was a pounding bang on our research office and laboratory in Vancouver. And in burst an 11-man Canadian government SWAT team.
Because if there was an actual issue with global warming, they wouldn't want to fix it. They would want to pour money into it so that they could siphon that money out of the system and back into their own pockets. And I care about the planet. Don't get me wrong. Don't think that I'm sitting here saying that I don't think that we should take care of our planet. I just don't think that our oceans are going to rise 30 foot and wipe out half of our continents and destroy life on Earth as we know it. I just don't see that happening. There are natural ebbs and flows to the temperatures of the planet, and we're just living through one of those.
Have you seen NASA's cloud machine? That's right, NASA has a machine that makes clouds. Clouds that make rainbows, clouds that even rain. And they've got a new technology that even surpasses the cloud machine. The digital cloud machine. This new patented technology will actually scan the clouds and be able to copy them in real time. And we've got a look from one of our satellites showing some of these clouds that we've actually scanned and copied in real time. Can you see the ones that were developed through our new technology? Let's take a closer look. As you can see, cloud number 1 was actually scanned and copied exactly, and we can get that view from our satellites. And there's more, but I'm going to leave it up to you to find those. I agree, this technology is awesome, but sometimes you're in a hurry and you got to make clouds a lot faster. So keep an eye out. Look at the skies and maybe you'll see some of these copied clouds.
And in case you missed the joke on this one, the cloud scanning software that they're talking about is called Adobe Photoshop.
I saw this scientist who has come up with a way to start reversing the effects of climate change, of like cooling down the earth. He like figured out the math, everything that we have to do, right? It sounds like a kid would come up with this. Yeah. You send this crap into space and you basically make a giant shade sail in between the earth and the sun. And so like it literally is shading the earth to where it will cool down the planet. But this thing, it has to be like something 100 million miles wide or something.
Yeah.
I don't want sunglasses on all the time. I can promise you that.
What a ridiculous idea.
Hey, but A for effort.
Good idea, pal. We're going to put it right up here on the fridge.
You want to put a shade sail in space.
That's such a good idea.
I know, it's the best idea I've ever had.
I want to build sunglasses for the Earth. We create a giant tube of sunscreen, and we coat the entire Earth with it.
Good, that's good.
That's a really good idea.
What more can I say or add to that? They ripped that dude a new one. Yeah, I think they pretty much covered it.
I did a video a while back about Apollo 17 and how on the mission from the Earth to the moon, you would not see a Terminator line and a fully lit Earth all on the same trip. If you looked back once and saw a fully lit Earth, it would be lit the whole trip. You would not see a Terminator line anywhere in this trip. I did a scale model representation and I got critiqued on this, saying that this shadow here causes a problem.
This guy's missing something here. When he is showing his model of the moon going between the sun and the earth, it's casting a shadow that looks identical to the photo onto his model. I feel like he just proved that the footage was more likely to be real, which I don't buy. Because I don't believe NASA's telling us the truth about anything. Yeah, I don't think that he showed what he was trying to.
But that shadow there isn't on this Earth model here. That shadow is actually on the wall behind it. And if you're talking about when I take that moon over to this area and it casts a shadow here, well, remember, the Umbra, yeah, the moon is only supposed to cast a 70-mile wide shadow on Earth. Little bitty tiny one. And I am glad, brother, that you ain't buying this, but look into my scale model a little bit further. You'll see that it was legit.
I think it's awesome that I cover a lot of this guy's clips, and apparently he watches the videos. That's awesome. All right, I'll say completely my error. I didn't think about the fact that it should have only been a 70-mile wide shadow. So there's no way that it would cast a shadow on the Earth like that, in my mind, no matter where you were located. And so for that reason, I'm going to say this dude's right and I was wrong.
To date, more than 20 species of animal have been successfully cloned, with 19 of these animals surviving into adulthood. The list of cloned animals includes a camel named Injaz, several domestic cattle with names like Jean, Daisy, and Second Chance, which was cloned from a bull named Chance. So with all this being said, it wouldn't be completely beyond the realms of possibility to see some of our Jurassic friends that we've seen on the big screen to make their comeback into the modern world. There have even been multiple reports of sightings and supposed leaks of information about this very thing happening all over the world. For the most part, cloning is achieved through a process known as somatic cell nuclear transfer. The technique involves removing the nucleus of an egg cell and replacing it with a somatic body or surrogate mother. So if these really are real, then what could the surrogate be? And if cloning dinosaurs is an option, then what species would you want to see alive and kicking or biting?
In that video, I don't buy any of those clips at all. They're so obviously fake. Is there cloning and stuff going on? Absolutely there is. We've read articles and seen clips and stuff of actual news reports of them talking about potentially cloning different animals that are extinct. So we know that cloning is being attempted. We know that it's been happening with regular animals for decades. You know China's doing it. The U.S. is probably involved in it and hiding it from its citizens. Yeah, I don't believe that we have dinosaurs that are fixing to start popping up in other countries and stuff like that. I think that's a little far-fetched. But they could prove me wrong, just like that guy in the last clip did. One thing that I would like to say, I would like to give a shout out to Stephanie in Arizona for sending me not only an awesome find from a Goodwill, a decorative plate that has Tartaria on it, but she also sent me this scale model of one of Christopher Columbus's ships, the Santa Maria. That is absolutely awesome. I didn't expect to get either of these things, and I just really want to show my appreciation. Thank you, Stephanie in Arizona. Thank you so much. I'm going to go ahead and end the video there. I hope you guys enjoyed these clips that we watched together today. I will be back tomorrow with another video. I hope you have a great, safe, fantastic day, and I will see you tomorrow.